In July 2024, DC announced their new Absolute books. These comics operated under a simple principle. If we remove what's considered to be a core part of these characters, what do they look like? Combine that with passionate, story-driven writers and artists, and you have a formula for success that's already paying off. Absolute Batman #1 was DC's best-selling book of 2024. The reception of Absolute Superman and Wonder Woman has been astonishing, and the hype around Absolute Martian Manhunter, Flash, and Green Lantern is only getting larger. So, as many comic book fans would, I'm left wondering, what's next? And in my pondering, I noticed Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, The Flash, and Martian Manhunter? That's the Justice League. And if you're going to have a Justice League, there's one more person you need. A hero who's never really been taken seriously despite the fact that they're a real heavy hitter. Their durability and versatility makes them a great asset to the Justice League. I'm talking, of course, about Plastic Man. What, you thought I meant someone else? Yes, Plastic Man, the stretchable superhero trying to make up for a life of crime. I could have gone with the other guy, but I figured, hey, why not something a little different? After all, Plastic Man has a lot of untapped potential. His ability to totally control and shape every cell of his body makes him nigh indestructible, and he has a really unique backstory, being that he used to be a professional criminal until a job went wrong, gave him his superpowers, and he now tries to right the wrongs of his past. His powers are great, he's got a unique backstory, and he's just brimming with personality. But due to his status as a relatively unknown character, he hasn't gotten quite that much of a chance to shine, which is why I think Plastic Man is perfect for an Absolute book. It would give any writer and artist plenty to work with while providing a spotlight for a character who really needs it. So, let's get into my idea for an Absolute Plastic Man.
So anyway, Chief, just a second, Chief. Hi, I'm Plastic Man. Welcome to the show. For those of you who don't know, this is my show. I am a superhero and quite possibly the best superhero there is. Right, Chief?
Frankly, no.
She's just kidding, really. And now, on to our first adventure.
First things first, the Absolute books aren't just good because they shook up the characters' backstories. It's what's been done from there by the driven writers and artists behind the books that have made them special. Batman not being rich doesn't necessarily mean he turns into an absolute brick of a man. That was an active choice by Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta. What I'm saying is, if Absolute Plastic Man were a real thing, and even if it did follow this exact pitch, it would require much more than that to actually be good. It would require writers and artists with a vision for this iteration of the character. Who would that writer-artist combo be? I don't know, but it would need to be a writer who could balance the darker nature of the Absolute universe with the levity and joy that's so core to Plastic Man's character. And the artist would have to be someone who could lean into and accentuate that clash of dark and light. Or you could just get Mark Waid to write it. That guy knocks, everything out of the park. So with that said, what are we removing from Plastic Man? As I said earlier, one of the most unique things about that character is that he used to be a bad guy. Out of everyone on the Justice League, he's the only one with a real criminal record behind him. Every action Plastic Man takes is to try and make up for his deeds as Eel O'Brien. So what if he never had that redemption? What if Eel O'Brien didn't just lack a change of heart, but what if he remained totally loyal to the mob? My Absolute Plastic Man takes a lot after Giorno Giovanna from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, who spent his entire life looking up to the men in the local mob, but can't condone the distribution of harmful substances to their communities or anything else the main character sees as sullying the organization's honor. My Plastic Man is hoping to fix the mob from the inside and return it to what he always saw it as, an organization dedicated to its community and run by men willing to carve out their own path. He's not trying to take down the mob, he's trying to reform it. In my pitch, Eel O'Brien was the son of an abusive father, one the mob made disappear. To help pay them back for this, both figuratively and literally, he starts working jobs with them, eventually turning into their go-to guy for theft and espionage. One day, he's asked to break into a local chemical plant. Ace, Axis, Stag, whatever. There, he ends up in a shootout with the cops. An explosion happens, and he's propelled into a mysterious vat of chemicals. His lifelong friend and partner in crime, Woozy Winks, pulls him out of the sludge and gets him to a mob doctor. There, they discover his brand new superpowers. Cut to today, where Plastic Man works for the mob, getting to witnesses and DAs your average foot soldier couldn't get himself to. But Plaz has his limits. He only takes out his targets and tries not to create any unnecessary casualties. This, of course, gets him in trouble with the new head of the organization, who's taken over after the death of his father. The new head is infinitely more ruthless and brutal, demanding that Eel rack up a higher body count to help send a message to anyone who goes against the organization. The straw that breaks the camel's back is when Plaz is sent to guard a shipment from Santa Prisca. Not trusting his boss, the flexible felon looks into the cargo and finds crates of venom, a highly addictive and harmful steroid his boss intends to flood the streets with. Before he can do anything about it, the shipment is stopped by a police blockade and another shootout begins. Plaz fights back, but quickly realizes he's the only one who will survive this. So he takes the present mob members and gets them to safety, leaving the truck full of contraband to the police. With the mobsters he saved in his debt, Eel O'Brien vows to restore the organization to its former glory. Back with the truck of contraband, Detective Ralph Dibney investigates the scene and discovers what the malleable mobster hadn't. Venom wasn't the only thing being imported. Among the crates of steroids is a single vat of chemical called Gingold, the very chemical which gave birth to Plastic Man. So that's my pitch for an absolute Plastic Man. It sets up Plaz's goals, his antagonist, and even a secondary antagonist in a potentially heroic Absolute Elongated Man. Eel will have to rectify the sins, past and present, that the mob has committed in order to create a future that can stand for the people in the local community. And he's going to do that by being what he's always been: flexible. But yeah, I think that's a pretty fun idea. I think it would be a cool concept for another Absolute book, one that takes a look at a more obscure character like Plastic Man and gives him more of a highlight and changes him up in a kind of fun way. What do you guys think? Does this version of Plastic Man sound interesting to you? Like the video and comment to let me know. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe. Ring that bell icon so you can get notified whenever I upload a new video.